Welcome to Planet Phoenix, where old ideas and items come to be reborn into something uniquely remarkable. So what do you do when you have a 12-foot skeleton wrapped in chains and lights that you need to get on top of your roof? Well, we took an old ladder that'd been laying around for years, did a little research on YouTube, and gave this ladder new life. When I first started researching this on YouTube, I did find a few people that had made some homemade ladder lifts, and they're primarily made for shingles. So the ladder would lean onto the eave of the home, and then they'd lift the shingles, which I thought was awesome. I just needed something bigger that was more of a fork lift, because everything I wanted to lift up there would get stuck in every single rung as it got up there. And I think if the ladder was too tall, it would be in the way to try to reach around it and pull anything off. Sort of like this image here. Now this one you can actually purchase. They make these things for like $3,000 to $5,000. Well, that wasn't in our budget, because we only need to do this a couple of times for the seasons, the holidays, to get things, awkward items up and down instead of trying to carry them up and down a ladder. Now, to take a closer look at this contraption, everything you see here, other than the lift, which I got at Harbor Freight for a couple $100, I think it's capable of, I forget, 400 pounds, something like that. But the air compressor there, that's just an old air compressor that died on me years ago. I was going to make a sandblaster out of it, but in this setup, I needed a counterweight. So I fill that thing with water, which gets about another 150 pounds, my calculations are correct, to counterbalance everything as you're lifting it up. And I put my son up there, who was about 180 pounds, and it carried him just fine. He was our test dummy. As you can see right here, we just cut the ladder at I don't know if that's a 45, some degree angle there I thought was fitting, and just ran some bolts and plates through there. I really just wanted a spot for it to swivel so I could fold it up when I was through using it. The top here required a little more strength. I have a 1x1, I think it's 1/8 of an inch wall, square tube that I had welded onto the side, welded together with a couple of plates, and then bolted to the side of the ladder to carry that cable. The platform itself was just made out of a bunch of scrap parts. I didn't want it to be real weighty, so I wanted to be lightweight, yet I needed a big wide platform to lift my skeleton up there and some other big items I had that are like 8 foot wide. So this is what I came up with. And you can see the little wheels right there on the bottom of the ladder. That helps that little piece of ladder slide up and down. It's just a 2-foot piece of ladder that's made to slide in that channel already, just like you would a normal extension ladder, slide up and down. I just have the wheels on there that'll help guide it. That there, I have a little piece of angle iron just to strengthen that step, because when I first did it to the top step, I put the U-bolt in there, put some weight on it, and it just ripped the step right out. So I added that just to give it more strength, and for what my needs are, it seems to be just fine. You can see on the bottom there, I have that 2x4 that goes from one end to the other. That too, just so when it lifts, it doesn't try to collapse in on itself, and it keeps it stable. And again, anything I've had to lift, which has been 200 pounds or less, it's been just fine. This is what it looks like once you remove the tank and the winch. As the winch isn't waterproof, and I leave this outside in a little storage area, so I have it so it just pops right off. It's not too bad, and it does the trick and saves me several thousands of dollars. Something worth mentioning is these 2x4s that you see right here that go from the very top of the ladder down a couple of rungs. That just helps strengthen that top. When I put a lot of weight on it, that does put some stress on that very top, and it tends to bend a little bit. Where as soon as I added the 2x4 in there, I just put a little C channel on both ends of it, and it slides right in there onto those rungs. Took care of the problem.